Istanbul is a city like no other, where Europe meets Asia and land meets water. But now, a massive new project could change it forever. It's called the Istanbul Canal, a 45-kilometer artificial waterway that would run through the western side of the city. The goal? To reduce ship traffic in the busy Bosphorus Strait, protect the environment, and build a brand new modern area by the water. The price tag? $15 billion. But here's the problem. It was announced over a decade ago, and still, almost nothing has been built. People are asking tough questions. Is it a smart plan for the future? Or a dangerous gamble Turkey can't afford? In this video, we'll explore the big dreams, the risks, and why so many people are divided. If you enjoy stories about bold ideas and hidden truths, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's dive in. What is the Istanbul Canal? Let's keep it simple. The Istanbul Canal is a man-made waterway that Turkey plans to build on the European side of Istanbul. It would run beside the Bosphorus Strait, connecting the Black Sea in the north to the Sea of Marmara in the south. You can think of it like a huge artificial river that cuts through farmland, forests, and small towns, giving ships a new way to travel across the country. Why does Turkey want to build it? Supporters say the Bosphorus is too busy. Over 40,000 ships pass through it each year. That's twice as many as the Panama Canal. The government says this new canal will help reduce accidents, ease traffic, and bring in more money. But it doesn't stop there. President Erdogan calls it his crazy project and wants to build a new city around the canal, full of luxury homes, hotels, marinas, and offices. For him, it's a symbol of growth and ambition. But many are asking the real question: what will it truly cost Turkey in the end? The environmental concerns. Now let's talk about something really important: nature. Many scientists, environmental groups, and even regular people are very worried about the Istanbul Canal. Building something this big isn't just about digging a long ditch. It can change the natural balance of life in a serious way. Right now, the Bosphorus Strait works in a special way. Fresh water flows from the Black Sea to the Sea of Marmara on the top layer, while salty water flows the other way underneath. This balance keeps fish, plants, and sea life healthy and alive. But experts say the canal could mess this up. It might change the salt levels in the water, which could kill fish, hurt the ecosystem, and even turn the Sea of Marmara into a dead zone. The digging could also weaken the land, raising the chance of earthquakes or floods. Plus, the canal would cut through wetlands, forests, and farms, destroying homes for animals and green spaces for people. With more ships passing through, there's also a bigger risk of pollution from oil and chemicals. In simple words, many believe this canal could be a serious danger to the environment. Financial risk in the $15 billion price tag. Let's talk about the money side of this project. The Istanbul Canal is expected to cost around $15 billion. But that's just a starting number. Some experts think the real cost could go up to $25 billion or more, especially when you include all the extra things like roads, bridges, housing, and other construction. The big problem is Turkey's economy is in a tough spot right now. Prices are going up, the Turkish lira has lost value, many foreign investors have left, and unemployment is rising. So people are asking a simple question: can the country really afford to spend this much right now? Critics say building a canal during an economic crisis is like buying a yacht when you can't even pay your rent. It just doesn't make sense. What's worse, there's no clear plan for how to pay for it. The government hopes private investors will help, but not many are interested. Some fear Turkey will have to borrow even more money, making its debt problem worse. At a time when many families are struggling to afford food, medicine, and rent, spending billions on a canal feels out of touch with reality. What the people of Istanbul think. Now let's hear what the people of Istanbul really think about the canal. Most people, especially those living near the planned route, don't support the project. In fact, surveys show that more than half of Istanbul's population is against it. And honestly, it's easy to understand why. Many people are afraid the canal will raise the cost of living, push families and farmers off their land, and cause loud noise, dust, and traffic jams during construction that could last for years. On top of that, the canal could destroy parks, forests, and farmlands, the very places people rely on for food and fresh air. Even Istanbul's mayor, Ekrem İmamoğlu, has spoken out against it. He called the canal a betrayal of Istanbul and said the city has more important problems to solve, like daily traffic, affordable homes, and being prepared for earthquakes. He believes, and many people agree, that instead of building something new, the government should focus on fixing what's already broken. To many locals, this project feels more like a vanity project, built to impress, not to help the people who actually live there. A geopolitical question, the Montreux Convention. Now let's look at the political side of the Istanbul Canal, because it's more important than it might seem. Right now, the Bosphorus Strait is controlled by an old agreement called the Montreux Convention, signed in 1936. This deal gives Turkey control over the strait, but it also says that all ships, even warships, can pass freely. It also puts limits on how many military ships can enter the Black Sea, especially from countries that don't border it. This agreement has helped keep peace in the region for many years, especially between powerful groups like Russia and NATO. But here's where it gets tricky. The new Istanbul Canal would not be part of this agreement. That means Turkey could make its own rules. It could charge money, limit certain ships, or even control military access. At first, that might sound like a smart move, but it could also create big problems, especially with countries like Russia, which has a large navy in the Black Sea. Some experts worry the canal could start political tension or even conflict. So this project isn't just about Turkey. It could have international consequences too. Why hasn't it been built yet? So, if this project was first announced back in 2011, why hasn't it been built yet? It's now 2025, and it's been 14 years since President Erdogan introduced the idea of the Istanbul Canal. But even after all that time, there's still no major construction, no big digging, no real progress, just a lot of talk. Why is that? Well, there are several reasons. First, there's strong public opposition. Many people in Istanbul simply don't want it. Then there are legal problems, including environmental lawsuits from groups trying to stop the canal. On top of that, there's no clear plan for how to pay for it, and not many investors are interested. Political fights between Erdogan's government and Istanbul's mayor have also slowed things down. And let's not forget, Turkey's economy is weak, so spending billions right now is risky. Yes, some early work has been done, surveys, studies, and fancy ceremonies. But if you visit the area today, you'll mostly see empty land and quiet roads. It feels like a project that's stuck, not moving forward, but not fully canceled either. Erdogan's vision versus reality. For President Erdogan, the Istanbul Canal is more than just a building project. To him, it's a legacy, something he hopes people will remember him for long after he's gone. He sees it as proof that Turkey can dream big, that it can compete with powerful countries, and that it doesn't need help from the West to create something great. The canal is part of a group of what he calls his crazy projects, which also includes airports, bridges, highways, and even a huge mosque. These projects are meant to show Turkey's strength and ambition. But big dreams often come with big problems. As the years pass, the gap between the dream and reality keeps getting bigger. So far, the canal feels more like a political message than a real project. Some people say it's just a way to distract from real problems like high prices, poverty, and political pressure. Others think it's about giving money and contracts to construction companies that support the government. Whatever the reason, one thing is clear: the future of the canal is still up in the air. What happens next? So, what could happen next with the Istanbul Canal? There are really two possible futures. In one future, Turkey finds the money, gets more people to support the idea, and actually finishes the project. The canal opens, ships start using it, and a brand new modern area is built around it. This could bring new jobs and new business, and President Erdogan would likely be praised for making it happen. But in the other future, the canal is never completed. Maybe a few roads or bridges are built, but the actual canal remains just an idea on paper. Over time, the people forget about it, and it becomes a symbol of wasted money and broken promises. Right now, in 2025, we're somewhere in the middle. The dream hasn't died, but there's still a lot of doubt. No one knows for sure whether this bold idea will turn into something real, or just another unfinished dream? Final thoughts. The Istanbul Canal is more than just a construction project. It's a big question mark. It shows what can happen when a country dreams big, but also what can go wrong when the risks are too high. Can it bring progress, or will it damage the land, the sea, and people's lives? Today, the Bosphorus is still doing its job. Ships are still passing, and the land meant for the canal? Still untouched. So the real question isn't just, can Turkey build it? But should it? Will this canal be remembered as a proud achievement? Or as a warning to think carefully before taking big risks? Thanks for watching. If you enjoy deep dives into bold ideas and the questions they raise, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. There's so much more to explore together. See you in the next story.